All right, for some reason, it will only let me go live in portrait view for some reason. I don't know why. It is very frustrating, but that's just how we're going to be today. So I'm working on a Kroot Tyranid Hunter Kit Bash. It is a gift for fellow YouTuber and Instagram fellow modern synthesist. I'm hopefully most of you guys are following him already. He makes much cooler stuff than I do. Hello there, Chase. I saw your comment pop up. But yeah, so he has a really cool little army of Kroot. They're feral Kroot that hunt Tyranids and use their own bones and weapons against them. He's got a cool little army on there you can check out on his Instagram. I don't think he has too many videos on them, if he has any. Um, but he hasn't made anything for them in a while. And so, in kind of a little bribe to get him back into it, um, I proposed a little trade for him. I said, I'll make one for your army, and you make me a cool Tyranid for my Tyranid army. And so here we are. So basically, all I have started is I got a couple pieces here that I've been working on. It's a long, tedious process of cutting up Tyranid armor and then shaving the hell out of them so that they fit on Kroot body parts as armor. But my plan is basically to make a like bigger, bulkier Kroot, like a really jacked warrior Kroot. Um, and I'm looking through all the ones he's made. He's made all kinds of cool Tyranid weapons that they wield. He's got ones with spears, swords, whatever, like using Tyranid bones. But one I didn't see was a flail, like a medieval flail, like on a chain. And so what I was kind of thinking was I'd use parts like these, like the claws from Tyrant Guard, and cut off the chunky bone claw from that, and maybe have two of them tied together with either chain, or I might try and make it look like organic, like it's like Tyranid tentacles or guts or whatever holding it all together, and have a big jacked Kroot just frickin' twirling one of those around, just whacking his way through the smaller Tyranids with it. Because you can imagine if you had a couple of these stuck together, that's going to be a real big mace on the end of there. So I thought that would be a cool idea. So, like I said, I'm just going to be kind of like, I've got a ton of bits here. I'm kind of just figuring it all out, like what's going to go where. I know how I'm going to build the Kroot body. I've done that lots of times where I've made Kroot bigger. So that's no problem. It's just more like what Tyranid parts exactly I'm going to use to make this guy. I've got some bits from Kroot Farstalkers in here as well. They've got some better like hand pieces and stuff to use, like that cool one there where he's holding a knife. I might end up using that. As well as a couple kind of half-built Farstalkers. I might have to use parts off them as well. I have this random Raven too. I was thinking, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just going to figure it out as I go, but he's got kind of a cool head. I don't have another one like that. I could maybe make that into like a shield. So yeah, we're just going to be messing around. I've got some random janky collection of wires here. I think I might have to use some of this to like tie the bone armor to the to make it look more legit. I think I missed some messages there. Can I see here? What's the container of super glue you're using? What is this brand? That's the brand there. I don't know. You get them from the dollar store. They come in these little packs. They have always worked really, really good for me, and I like that they're resealable. They're super cheap. So yeah, I've always used those. They're very convenient. They store easily. They're small. And I'd also like to do some feudal world themed snake bites to accompany my death skulls. So that is, yeah, so that's orcs. That would be pretty cool. So more feral orcs is always a good thing. I'm just gonna rotate this camera so that I can just kind of prop my phone up there. That way I'll be able to see the messages as they come as well. We'll get working away here. So I'll flip the camera around here. I'll show you what I've done already with this. So I've got it where I took a Hormigaunt and I cut the chest armor and the back armor off it, and that's going to be the front and back of the Kroot Warrior's armor. And then I took their skull, Hormigaunt skull, split it in half, or took the one face off it, and then cut the rest of the face out and hollowed the eye out so it's like a skull. So the Kroot is going to have this like half face skull mask, and then the other eye, I was thinking I might green stuff like a bionic eye on it, just something cool to do. I'll flip this around here and I'll show you. Sorry, this is a very unprofessional live stream. So there's our Kroot head. So all I've had to do is file a little bit off the top to make it fit better. And then, wow, I'm just gonna hold that like that. So there is our Tyranid headpiece. So see how I was able to keep some of the face armor? So that fits, or it will fit, pretty perfectly on the Kroot head when all is said and done. But I left the other side open so that I can do a bionic eye on there if I want to. So we got that, and then we've got our standard Kroot torso. So we've got the Hormigaunt back armor. Again, had to hollow that all out and trim some of the back off of this so that it'll fit good. I might need to still do some more trimming on that. And then same thing with the front. We got the front piece. It'll just fit over like that. So yeah. It should be pretty fun, pretty good. What to start on? It's always the tough part, is finding just where to even begin a project such as this. I think I didn't want to, but I think I am going to have to trim away more from the back piece here. I don't really want to. It's a very tedious task. I just use the back of my knife. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Comes away pretty quick. It's very soft. Kind of have an idea for a cool Snakebite Warboss Kitbash. So the Snakebite ones, they are they're the more like savage orcs, right? The ones with all like the squig hogs and stuff. So I'm gonna maybe guess you're using some of the Age of Sigmar models, because they are very cool and they would work very good for them. Believe it or not, I actually had a little tiny orc army back in the day, which you can still see. I don't know if I think I have the Stompa on the channel. I think I have the Stompa on the channel, and then I have, I had them on my Instagram for sure. But I used some of the Age of Sigmar models, some of their unique ones for Warcry, I think it was. They had some really cool big orcs for that I had made war bosses and stuff out of. I'll do an orc army again at some point. Too many models, too little time, right? I could find a way to do every single army in 40k. There's very, very few that don't interest me at all. I just never really liked Death Guard. I like them as an enemy. I would love to play against them. I wish I had a friend that had a super cool Death Guard army. I just don't really like them that much. But they are very good models. They're very well-made models. They're like a cool army. It's just not one that I like that much. They do something more interesting. I also have this really big sword here, this big cleaver blade. Could make a sword. It's just the thing is he already has made swords, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to make something that he didn't have. He hadn't made yet. That's what led me to the flail, because I knew that was one he had not done yet. Also, I do have some really good bits that would make good shields. This bit here from the Hive Guard kit is really good pieces for everything, apparently. Maybe I should just start working on bulking out the Kroot body, maybe, figuring out which arms and stuff I'm going to need to be using. I'm trying to think what would be best for a flail. He'd probably be using the flail in his right, shield in his left. So I need a Kroot arm that's either like down, or I think it would be too hard to try to make it like mid-swing, so he's probably got to be like dragging it on the ground. So I need one that's down, and then I need like a normal Kroot arm that's kind of just like up like that, you know, and then I can put a shield on the forearm pretty easily, do the straps around it. So, or it could be another arm like down like this, shield on the back, like he's kind of just like, come at me. Not that Kroots would talk like that, but you know what I mean. Missed the message there. Basically, my idea is that of this big hulking monster of an orc wild boss who's made himself ramshackle armor made out of a mix of Tyranid Kerberos armor. That would be pretty sweet. That would be pretty sweet. Are you going to use Ghazghkull as a base for that, or are you going to use something else? And if I may ask, why do you not like Death Guard? I never really liked, I don't know how to describe it. I never really want to, like, play as, like, the zombies, if that makes sense, or, like, the really gross army. Now I say that, my undead zombie Kroot that I made for my Nurgle Demon Kroot, I really, really like. But maybe that's just because, like, I put so much, like, love and effort into them. That's why I like them. But yeah, it's not, like I said, it's like I can look at them, the models are super good. They look like a really cool army. That's a really well-made army. It all looks well together. It's just not my favorite, like, style of army models, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that would be it. Like, if it was a different version of Death Guard that didn't have all the gross, like, tentacles and pimples and warts and whatever on them, and it was just the aesthetic of, like, monstrous Space Marines with scythes, and even the belly mouths, I think those are cool. It's just kind of like the grossness of it. I don't know. It's just not my style of army that I like. Same thing. I don't really like the look of standard Gene Stealers, like the kind of like skin head with the little bumps on it. Like, I would make a Gene Stealer army, and I would either do something real wild, like make like a Skaven army for 40k and use Gene Stealer models and rules. Or I would make them more Tyranidy and less just like gross human-y, if that makes sense. It's like the Gene Stealers for Tyranids were my least favorite Tyranid model by far. I like the new ones more because they are more monstrous looking, and less like just kind of gross humans, if that makes sense. I have another one of these claws around here somewhere. Where did I put it? Oh, got it. I got two of them still, I guess. Ooh. So yeah, I think if I put two of those together, maybe some extra spikes too, that is going to look wild. Wild. And I am here for it. Maybe I start working on that. Just kind of blob up some green stuff, I think, will be the key, and just kind of mash them together. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll even consult with the master himself, Modern Synthesis there, and see what he thinks about how the Kroot would put these together. Whether they would use something like chains, like metal chains, or try to tie it together with like Tyranid tentacles and stuff. Because I have a lot of Tyranid tentacle bits too. I could easily make something with that. I just don't know if it really makes sense, because I feel like it would degrade. If I had some Ironjaws orcs or feral orcs, I'd definitely like to make them into Snakebite feral orcs. I'm also going to start kit bashing my Nurgle Corrupted Blood Angels. Oh, yes. Yeah, I think, yeah, you were asking me about that. Yeah, I love the alternate heresy stuff that has happened, or has been made. I think that's really fun, that people made a whole other 40k in 40k, or Horus Heresy, I guess. Yeah, so I got my two little crab claws here. We can put them together. I'm almost picturing like the Witch King's mace from Lord of the Rings kind of vibe. And I can take these little side spikes, the underclaw, and have those coming out either side. So it's like an X with the two little ones on one end and the big ones on the other end. So just no matter where he's frickin' twirling this around, people are getting clobbered. This will be... I think this will be fun. I think it's going to be more fun than if I just gave him a big sword, which is what I was going to do. I also was going to try and do maybe like a really cool sniper rifle, but I looked through and none of the ones he's made have anything near that high tech, and so I don't want to mess with the theme that he's got going on, where they really are just using Tyranid parts. I don't want to go and bring in like a high tech Kroot rifle out of nowhere. I think a couple of them have like crossbows that are literally, the whole crossbow is also made out of Tyranid bones. But other than that, they have guns, and the guns are literally, somehow they're using Tyranid guns, which I don't know if he fully thought that part through, because I think the Tyranid guns are living organisms from the Tyranids. So I feel like they can't just stick their hand in it and make them shoot. But maybe. He would probably know more about Tyranid stuff than I do, so maybe that makes more sense than I'm thinking it does. So yeah, there's our claw weapon. For comparison's sake, there's our Kroot body next to it. So this thing is going to be enormous. I don't know if this really makes sense. This might be too big. I might need to find some smaller claws to make this work. Frig. It'll be fun though. Will be fun though. I thought about using a Tyranid head as well as the end of the mace. Yeah, we might need to look at something else here. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make, even with bulking out the Kroot's body, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make him big enough for this to logically make sense. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really think about that when I was making this. So here's a full-size Kroot here. Is there any way that works? Probably not. Probably not. There's our Kroot. It's taller than him. Like, if it was a sword that was taller than him, I could see it. What if we just had one of these? But then I don't know how well it would work as a flail. Decisions. I might need to think about this a little bit more then. We always have backup. I can always make it a sword pretty easily. while I'm thinking, I'm going to go ahead and drill holes in the arms of the torso, or in the shoulders of the torso for the arms, because whatever I do, I know I'm making these arms bigger, so I'm going to end up probably having to pin them. These little guys are super handy if anybody that ends up watching this does not have one. Much easier than trying to use a power drill, which is what I used to do quite often. Oh, it does get tiring on the wrist, eventually. Alright, that's probably good for now. About, yeah, I could use the head of a Tyranid as the flail itself. I just feel like that doesn't really seem like a good enough weapon, like for the end of it. It doesn't seem like it would be strong enough, or like, I don't know, it doesn't really have that much like spikes on it and stuff to really smash into dudes. It's making me rethink the whole dang thing here. I could take a skull of a Tyranid and have it like the crew, like tied on more spikes to it, like more Tyranid talons and stuff. I just don't know. I definitely think I still want to do the flail. Definitely think I still want to do the flail. It's just whether or not, just a matter of how big it's going to be now, basically. What exactly I'm going to be able to do with it. Ooh, that is a good arm. That is a good arm for the shield arm. It's on the wrong side, kind of, from what I wanted to do. But we might need to just do it. Yeah, we might need to just do it. Use that arm. I feel like I probably missed a message here. You see my recent post on Instagram, if I may ask. I know you, I know you'd sent me one at one point, or tagged me in one. I definitely did see that, if that's the one you're talking about. If it's more recent than that, maybe not. If not, feel free to send it to me again. Always happy to take a look. Whatever people want me to take a look at. For sure, for sure. I used to do on this channel, I used to do a lot of things. I just kind of bounce back and forth. Like I'll do something for a bit and then I'll stop doing it. But we used to do like subscriber content. Like at the end of videos, sometimes I would show off other people's kit bashes that they had sent in and just kind of say a few words about it. Could start doing that again if people want. Pretty chill here though. We don't really worry about too much. So I'm going to split this crew arm right in the middle, kind of right at the elbow, in order to lengthen it there, and then I'll also lengthen it a little bit at the shoulder. So what we're going to do there, this drill bit might be a little bit big. Yeah, I think I need a smaller one. Where are my bits? Tiniest little drill bit is what I need. And we're just going to pin those arms right through the middle. I'm going the wrong way. This will be the smallest pinning job I've ever done. It's a fairly new tool for me, actually. I was always going real primitive and just kind of winging it with green stuff and not actually pinning things properly or whatever. Okay. That was risky. Blew into a piece that small and almost blew the other half of it away to never be found again. Yeah, drilling into a crew arm, I don't know if you can even see that. That is hella tiny. Little blow into that time. Okay. Do I actually have any wire small enough for this is the question. These are the questions we must ask ourselves. I do. I do. I'm going to cut about how much I think I need off of that. There we go. Got our little bit there. Boop. And boop. There we go. So we can start working on our arm extension. Make this a much bigger crute. Which is what we want. It'll be our shield arm one way or another. So we got that. Yeah, I just don't think I will be able to make one big enough for this, unfortunately. Plus maybe, oh, I really want to almost make it like a full-blown like Monster Hunter sized weapon. Maybe I could. Maybe I can. I'm going to think about it a little bit more. I think I could take more off the back ends and shorten these up a bit to where it's a little bit more reasonable. And now I'm thinking, well, what if I make it, instead of a flail, maybe the flail was a little bit too much. I could maybe make it into more like a mace, and then it's maybe a little bit more reasonable that he would be able to swing it. Yeah, I think if I cut more off the ends of these, I think maybe we could just get into the territory of being reasonable. So I'm gonna try and do that now, and then I'm probably gonna cut the stream at that point. Okay, so we got the end off that one. And we got the end off that one. Put those together. Now we're more like that. There's our Kroot body for reference. A little bit more reasonable. You picture that size on the end of a mace in his hand. And he's going to be a bigger. This is a normal sized Kroot. I'm going to make a much bigger sized Kroot by the time all is said and done. So, yeah, I'm feeling like that's possible. And then we'll have the little spikes on either side. And hopefully it will look quite cool. Alright, I'm going to end the stream there. I'll just double check I didn't miss any messages. Maybe I did, maybe I did. Is my painted Nurgle Blood Angel, but yes, tag you in. Yeah, I believe I saw that. And it looked quite good. An unrelated question, have you seen this Team Fortress 2 horror film called Nemesis Blue? No, I have not. But I can look it up after this, probably. So, thanks for watching. I haven't done a live stream in friggin' forever. I really should get back into it and just random little like bits of hobbying like this to hang out with you guys. Yeah. Thanks for anybody that ends up watching this or did watch this. It's been fun. I will see you later, maybe.